This is another mistake we see students doing what in solving question related to a set. So here we call it set builders. Don't panic with this name. All that matters is you must know what they are trying to tell you. Now we have this guy here. Now for sure we know what the reason why we are using a capital letters and then this notation. Now what is inside here is the most important thing. We have x, so that this one is less than or equal to x and then less than what 8. That is what it means. So the way I prefer reading these double things, that I always stand out what I'm looking for. So this x here are the people within this or this house, but they must not anybody. Neither you are a white or a black or you are anything. You are a child or maybe an adult or maybe a teenager, something of that nature. Now you must know people that are falling within or this particular house here. Now, for you to determine that is why they give us a condition. We say that the x here, anybody that is inside this room here must be. You see, the mistake comes from what this point here, these two guys here. Now, let's go back to the maybe a primary level or maybe grade 1, grade 2, and so on and so forth. Depends on what your location. Now, here we are having what. Let's say 1 1 1. Let's use a different pen here, say, and then 1 1. This means that is less than, right? So 1 is less than what? Less than x. Is that okay? So meaning that 1 here is less than, say, x here can be 0 or maybe and so on and so forth. That is how we read this thing. So what about reading from this side here? So if I want to read the x here, it means that the x is what? Greater than what? 1. Doesn't make sense. This thing way back is something that by definition is less than, right? So it's less than. You say 1. Reading from this side here tells me that 1 is less than what? X here. So what happens if I want to read from this side here? So it means that the x is what? Greater than what? Greater than 1. Is that okay? So always, where we said this side that has a very open or wide mouth here is always the greater than, and the pointed side here is what? Less than. Does it make sense? Maybe the other one goes like this. Let's say something like this. If you have 2, yeah, we can say that 2 is greater than what? Greater than 1. Let's say that is the idea. So this is the meaning of what? Greater than, right? So 2 is greater than what? 1. So reading from this here, you cannot tell me that 1 is greater than, because the meaning of this thing is what? Greater than, right? So greater than, that is the name of this guy here. You cannot tell me that if you want to read from this side here, you say that 1 is greater than 2, which is not true in this case. So depending on where you are reading from, that is one thing you must pay a close attention. So reading from this side tells me now 1 is less than what? 2, based on the pointed side here, right? So always the pointed side is always the less than, and then the greater than here is always the side that has what? A very open mouth here. So maybe something of that nature. So what happens in terms of the double item? So talking about the double inequality here, so always start from this point here. That is why students always make a mistake in solving questions. So that goes like this, right? So we are looking for the x, people that x here. For sure, we are defining the x to be what? An integer. So here you are required to know the meaning of the integer. It can be an odd numbers, so you should know that even numbers or prime numbers and so on and so forth. Does it make sense? So that is what a clear sense of in that case. But solving this particular one is that you must, this is a double, so for sure you move from single before you go to double. So why don't you solve this thing in terms of a single and a one by? What I mean by the single, you conquer this part here. Look at something, you conquer this part first, and then when you are done you go and conquer the other one. So here reading this thing, the x is what we are looking for. So that is why I make a clarification here on how to read things like this, right? So here it means that reading from this side, you can say that 1 is less than or equal to x here, but we are looking for the x. So why don't you start for the guy that is missing? So if the x is missing here, so meaning that reading this thing will give me x is greater than or equal to 1. That gives you the clear sense on what exactly you are looking for. So if x is here, people that are greater than or equal to 1 here, and then we know that x is on an integer. We know integers are both negative and positive numbers, right? Okay, so here you see x is greater than or equal to 1. So if you are greater than or equal to 1, then it means you are starting with the 1 greater than or equal to. So greater than means we are going up. So that is 2, 3, and then 4, and so on and so forth. So I would advise you to leave it like this, right? So we don't know where we are going, greater than or equal to. So the second part here, so what I mean by the second part, this guy here dealing with this guy here is what x is less than what 8. right? So x is less than 8, meaning that we know the x already. So x is the people numbers here, that's the negative and positive numbers, so including 0, right? So that's the definitions of the integer. Now we have that x is less than what? Less than what? 8. So if you are less than 8, then it means that we are starting from 7 and then 6, maybe 5 and then 4 and so on. Have you seen the way we are able to identify people that we look? So these are the people that we are looking for what they said, right? If you have any question, don't forget to comment in the comment section, right? These are informations that we are giving, right? So we are giving this as well as this. So we are told that these two guys are the subsets of this mean. You know the meaning of the subset already, right? So the meaning of the subset is meaning that these people here can be found in what? In this. Okay, perfect. This is what they are asking us to find. They say A complement intersection what? B, right? So you should know how to read this thing. First of all, you must identify this guy here as well as this guy, right? So we know the B has been given to us. The people inside the B has been given to us. These are the people inside the B. What about the A complement? So the A complement means that we know the meaning of the complement. The complement says that this is the A. So anybody that is inside the universal, this is the universal that we are giving. That is not inside the A. So this is your room here. So this is the entire house, right? So anybody that is not inside your room here is what we are calling the A complement, right? So anybody that is not inside your room is what we are calling what? The A complement. Anybody, what I mean by the anybody here is this is the whole entire house, right? So anybody that is inside this house here, that person is not in your room is what we are calling what? The A complement. So the A complement here is going to be this is what we had for the A complement. So you can see clearly that from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, they are all here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are left with just 9, 12, 18, and then what? 36. So this is what we are calling what? The A complement. So now we know the intersection. So many of the intersections that now that we have these people here, then we have these people here. So these are the two people that we are talking about. The intersection here is that what do they have in common? What are those notorious people that sleep in this room as well as they come and sleep here? Right, so here you can see that 9 is there, 18 is also there, right? So these are the two people that we have, right? So these are the two simple people that you have. So you have 9 as well as well. How simple this thing is if you have a clear understanding, right? So that's also maybe I have a YouTube channel. You must make sure that you subscribe to that YouTube channel. Now here's the second part. So we have the second part here. So we are told that to find out this A complement intersection B everything complement. Don't be scared if you have something that looks like this. Just move step by step. You first of all need the A complement, which is already here, right? So you already have the A complement as well as B. So B is also here. Is that okay? So these are the two things. So now you need to find the intersection. So dealing with the bracket first, right? So the intersection of these two is going to be, so this is the A complement intersection B. That is the 9, 18, right? So we already have that here. Is that okay? That here. Now, what are we talking about? So solving everything here means that everything complements. So everything complements here tells me that look at these are the two people inside this room, right? So these are the two people inside this room. So anybody that is inside the universal, but you are not in this room is what we are going to find in this case, right? So this is just one room, right? So what is the room? How many people are there? Two people are inside the room. So what is the universal? We are going to find the complement of everything here. So finding the complement of everything is we have only these two people. So just take these two people out here, and then the rest are just the complement, right? So the complement of this guy is just going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, as well as 12, and then 36. According to the question, we were told that these three people A, B, and C are subsets of the universal set. This is mu, right? If you don't know how to pronounce this thing, don't worry yourself. All that matters is that you must know what you are doing. Is that okay? So what it means here is that we have A, B, C are inside this guy, right? So that's the meaning of the subset here. Okay, now if A, B, C, and then can be found in this thing, so we are giving the A to be 1 up to 16, right? So make sure that you list everybody. So 1 up to 16 here, and then we are told that B is equal to X. So those are inside B are just X here, So you have the X. By the definition, you have the X, so that this guy doesn't contain animals, it doesn't contain human beings, it doesn't contain cars, it doesn't contain anything. The only thing that it picks is X, but by a certain condition. So the X here is going to be an odd integer, right? So we are dealing with odd integer. This is what we are dealing. This house contains what? An odd integer. So you must know the meaning. If I show you this thing, you can easily tell me that this is the marker, right? So the same way, you must understand who exactly we are calling an odd integer. Okay, so the meaning of the odd integer, that is one thing you have to pay close attention to. So this is the condition here. The condition say that odd integer here has to be greater than 0, and then you are going to be less than what? 16, right? So if you are greater than 0 and then less than 16, we know how to do this from the previous video. So if you haven't checked that, make sure that you check that. So that is it. So the X say that greater than 0. So odd integer, is that okay? Odd integer, not marker, not a whiteboard, not anything, but odd integer. So the integers here are what? From what? 1, because you are greater than what? 0 here. So 1, and then 3. So why not 2? Because 2 is not an odd integer, right? So that is why we are taking 2 out here. So 3, and then 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and then what? 15, right? So we are ending on 15 because the condition says that you must be less than what? 16. Is that okay? So those are some of the things you must pay very close attention to. Now let's move on to the C part. So the C part, this is the condition that we are giving. So don't let this thing confuse you, right? So this thing tells me that people inside the C are what we call P, but P with a condition. That is one thing you must be. So the P here is what? A prime. So you must know what or who a prime is. So this is the condition. So we are looking for P, so that P is less than what? 16, right? So once is, so P starts from what? Which is a prime number. So prime numbers here start from maybe 2 here. So we are having 3, 5, 7, 11, and then what? 13, right? Because we said that it is less than what? 16. So you cannot go beyond what? This 13. Is that okay? So perfect. Now this is the question that we are asked to be intersection what? Intersection C. You know the meaning of the intersection, right? The meaning of the intersection here is what? People that are in the B, and then they are also what? In the C, right? So does it make sense? So you have what? 3 here, 3 here, 5 here, 5 here, 7, 7 here, 11, 11 here, right? 13 and 13 here. Okay, so those are the intersections that we are talking about. You know, this is exactly what you're having. So the next part says of A intersection B, everything complement, right? So what it means, you must know these people first. Always you must know what is inside the bracket before you move on to the complement. The meaning of the complement is those who are in the universal. So this is the universal that we are having. So we have the universal here, but are not in this or this house here, right? So you must know people that are inside this house. So that is the A intersection or B. This is what I had for the A intersection B. If you're having a different answer, make sure that you comment in the comment section, right? So okay, perfect. Now people that are not inside this room, is that okay? So this is the universal. We know the universal. You must relate this into the universal. This is the universal from 1 up to 16. So everybody that is not inside this room, and then that person is what? In the entire house, the universal. That is what we are looking for. So what are those? These people are, so these are the people that we are looking for, right? So these are the people. You can see that these people are not in this room, A intersection B, right? But they are in the universal.